I thought I thought this was a comedy, but it isn't funny. It's just really sad. Why am I crying? I thought this was a comedy, but instead it's a tragedy. Now that I've wiped the tears from my eyes, please allow me to talk about one of the most surprisingly excellent anime I've seen ever. Kotaro Lives Alone is an anime about a boy called Kotaro who lives alone. No surprises there. Kotaro lives in this small apartment block and fends for himself. He buys food and toiletries for himself and even cooks for himself. For a 4-year-old, Kotaro is very mature. This is even reflected in the way Kotaro talks, as he speaks in a very formal manner that even the other residents that live next to him find confusing. Now, if like me, you thought that this would be a great setup for a comedy that only an anime could pull off, then you're in for a rude awakening, because the first episode makes it clear that this anime is going to tackle some very serious subject matter. I mean, Netflix itself puts a content warning at the top of the screen, informing you that child abuse is going to be present in the anime. I remember seeing that, scratching my head and thinking, this is a comedy about child abuse? I don't know if you can make a comedy about child abuse. But rest assured, Kotaro Lives Alone never tries to make light of this awful act, and instead slowly reveals that each one of Kotaro's quirks and seemingly weird behaviour is the result of the trauma that he has faced at the hands of both of his parents. Fortunately, Kotaro's neighbours are able to pick up on this and go out of their way to look after the little boy. The relationship Kotaro has with the other residents of the apartment is one of the best aspects of this show, and it is heartwarming watching them willingly try to make this boy happy. And vice versa. Like I said, Kotaro is very mature for his age, and just like how the other residents are able to pick up on Kotaro's struggles, he's able to notice theirs, and just as they did for him, he does everything in his power to help them. This anime is all about loneliness. I mean, it's literally there in the title, and it was just heartwarming to see a bunch of people who are all lonely for completely different reasons and are all of different ages come together to support each other. I also like that the anime never forgets that Kotaro is 4 years old. He may be wise and able to see through the fake smile that others put on for him, but Kotaro is still a very young child and he acts accordingly. Whether it's the fact that he covers his face when he is crying, or how desperately he clings onto Karino, Kotaro is still a kid, and the anime makes sure that you don't forget it. Like the other characters in the anime, I wanted nothing more than for Kotaro to be happy. Just like with Ash Lynx from Banana Fish, the more hardships and struggles that is revealed that the character had to go through, the more I wanted them to find joy. However, unlike Ash Lynx from Banana Fish, I actually have faith that Kotaro will be able to overcome his struggles and lead a good life. I really hope the anime ends with Karino adopting Kotaro or something along those lines. Now that I think about it, that's another theme of this anime. Overcoming hardships. Again, like with loneliness, this is another thing the other characters share with Kotaro. Karino has become a bit of a social recluse as he focuses on completing his manga. Mizu has to juggle her exhausting work activities with her abusive boyfriend, and Tamaru has to deal with people making assumptions about him based on his appearance, all whilst grappling with the fact that he is not allowed to see his own son, despite his and his son's wishes. It's only when Kotaro enters their lives that they are actually able to improve and change their lives for the better. However, like with the child abuse, the show treats their problems realistically, and not all the characters get the perfect ending we want for them. Now, it should be clear by now that I really like this anime, and I'm really hoping that it gets a much-deserved second season, but it would be unfair of me not to mention a few of the issues that this anime has. For starters, some of the dialogue is a little heavy-handed, and occasionally characters will come to conclusions that they likely wouldn't have. There are 2 times in this anime where Karino realises something because he was watching TV at the exact right time. The first time was okay because it basically told him not to let a 4-year-old go out at night by themselves, but the second time was a little too coincidental for my liking, as there's no way that Karino would work out that Kotaro was eating tissues if he hadn't been watching TV right at that moment. But these moments are few and far between, and it's only a really minor gripe. The animation is also not really that impressive. I feel like half my anime reviews have had animation done by Leiden Films. Leiden Films, in my opinion, are the new JC staff. They keep making lots of anime, some good, some bad, but no one really talks about the animation in their anime unless it's negative, like with Berserk 2016. Occasionally they make something with good animation, but overall when you watch that anime, you're not expecting the animation to be mind-blowing. Fortunately, Kotaro Lives Alone is one of those anime where the animation doesn't matter to its overall quality. This is a show that hinges on its story and characters, and those aspects of the anime are exceptional. I know I joked at the beginning of the video about this anime being a comedy, but this anime technically is a comedy, and I do think that in that area, the anime does fail, because I just don't think the anime is that funny. There are a few moments that will make you chuckle, but there's not much here to make you laugh. But again, it seems the creator of the show was more focused on pulling on your heartstrings, and they definitely succeeded there. That's honestly all the negatives I have about the show, and they're all very minor complaints, which will show how polished and put together this anime is. I also want to highlight the voice acting in this anime because it was very good. Shoyomi Lee is one of my favourite anime voice actors, who most of you will know as either Makoto Nijima from Persona 5 and Strikers, Asuna from Sword Art Online, or Lucy Heartfilia from Fairy Tail. She was truly excellent as Kotaro and was able to showcase how intelligent he is for such a young lad, whilst also being able to demonstrate that Kotaro is a lonely boy who misses his parents despite the terrible things that they did to him. Shoyomi Lee was clearly the perfect choice for the character. I would also like to highlight Michael Sinterklaas as Karino. He gives the character a very laid-back voice, which is perfect for a character who initially comes across as a slacker and potentially even depressed. The two leads for the show were the right choices, and it's their performances that helped me get attached to these two characters. It's saddened to me a little knowing that not many people have watched this anime, and I believe it is mainly due to it being a Netflix anime. A lot of people talk about anime being trapped in Netflix jail still today, but generally I feel that Netflix anime can still get a lot of attention. Just look at Comic Can't Communicate, The Seven Deadly Sins, and Beastars. All those are popular, and all of them only on Netflix, and yet Kotaro Lives Alone has been unable to achieve the same status as them. Hopefully with time and videos like this spreading word of mouth, Kotaro Lives Alone will achieve the popularity and adoration that it deserves, because this is a very special anime that I think is going to stick with me for quite some time. Anyway, that's all. Go watch Kotaro Lives Alone.